Welcome everybody here today. Thank you for coming out. We have a great crowd and a relatively short agenda today, which is like my two favorite things. We're going to start with a roll call, please. Joan?
Chris Martinson.
Here.
Charles Long.
Here.
Michael Shaw.
Here.
Priscilla Benali.
What's it down?
Kevin Mitchell.
Here. All right, we have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and proceed. I will entertain a motion to approve today's agenda, please.
Motion. Go ahead.
So only have to.
Second by Mr. Shaw. Roll call, please. Motion by Charles.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Ms. Benali.
Yes.
Mr. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Mr. Martinson.
Yes. All right, we'll turn the time over to Mr. Hyatt for some recognition.
Consent, sir. Consent, minutes?
No.
Recognition first, after the approval of the agenda?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
President Martinson, members of the board, I'm going to invite our District Athletic Director up, Mr. Senna, to talk about just a regular occurrence. This is a yearly thing. We have little wrestlers that have done a great job at the state tournament, and so we're here to recognize them. Mr. Senna will give us a little bit more information, and then I'd like to invite the board down in the front so we can shake their hands and congratulate them individually. Mr. Senna.
Good afternoon, everyone. Members of the board, Mr. Hyatt, administration, yes, thank you all. Today is a great day. These are the wonderful times of year that we have when we get to come out here and recognize some of our student athletes for the outstanding accomplishments that they have done throughout the year. This year we have our Maimara Patriot Wrestling team out here, as we had some boys have a very successful year, and they had a great job, did a great job this past 2 weekends ago at our state tournament, and so we'd like to recognize them for their outstanding achievement. They had a great season. It was a long season. I know that talking to the coaches, they had a little bit up and down and did some things throughout the year, but very consistent. These young gentlemen that we'll be recognizing today had very consistent years. They were always there amongst the top throughout the state, and they proved it and finished strong at the state tournament. At the state tournament, our boys team finished in 8th place. The girls team also had a great showing, as they were able to finish 4th place, just out of the trophies, as they had a lot of wrestlers finish 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. They didn't get anybody into the championships, but they also had a very successful season. So at this time, though, we'd like to recognize our state runner-ups. So these gentlemen made it into the championship round. So at the 133 pounds, we have a state runner-up, Adam Abdeljawal. At the 127 pounds, state runner-up, Gage Sellers. And so before I bring up our state champion, I was trying to watch some of their matches, and I went and watched a few things. I don't know if any of y'all know about wrestling, but it is pretty exciting and a little different. But like I was telling them, I was watching the matches, and it looked like they were doing so good, and all of a sudden you look at the score, and it's still like 0-0, 1-0, and I'm just wondering what the heck is going on. And all of a sudden, you know, this young man, I watched a few of those first rounds on the camera, and all of a sudden he just turn it on and do something pretty explosive and pin somebody and take quick advantage of a situation when you look like you might be down and out. So just a lot of resiliency from these young men, and I'd like to congratulate our state champion at 114 pounds, Austin Lopes. Coaches, if you guys would like to come on up too, so you can get into pictures. Without you, I'm not sure if these young men would have been all this way. Great job of our coaching staff all year long, doing a good job.
This is just, I got there this morning.
Great job. Congratulations. Get a chance to ask which of you would win if you wrestled. If it would be like a death match, or who would win? Nobody wants to claim it? There you go. There you go.
There goes one, okay.
All right, board members, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, February 18th.
Motion to approve the minutes of February 18th, 2025.
All right, second by Mr. Long. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Benali,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Morrison.
Yes. All right, board members, are there any questions about any of the consent agenda items?
Mr. Boardman, I have a couple, please.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I would like to, first of all, motion to approve, but I do have a question. My first question on the first GMCS financial report on the number 1, budget increase. It says operational under present budget, 213,000, I believe. If you could, increase of 13,000. What is that for? Is that just, it says New Mexico PED, per New Mexico PED.
I'm trying to look where you're talking about. Oh, just on the very first page,
Yeah.
page 1, it's 103, 503?
The top one.
Okay.
First one.
President Mortensen, members of the board, Member Benali, the state has a new way that they're doing this. So we have put in front of the board the $11 million increase, which was the cash carry forward. The state is now wanting us to do an increase and then an increase. The difference is the $2 million we pledge for teacher revenue bonds that we move from operational down into teacherage debt service. So the state has asked us to do it a different way than we've done in prior years, which is why you're seeing this back on your docket.
Okay. And Joanna, my next question is on the third page, midway, it says contract services for Stepping Stone. What is Stepping Stone?
President Mortensen, members of the board, Member Benali, Stepping Stones is a contractor that we have through a competitive solicitation to provide ancillary services for our special needs.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Shaw. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Benali,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Morrison.
Yes. The next item down here is in the study circle, section 5. Do we have any public comment today?
No.
No public comment today, so we will jump right into our superintendent's report. For that, I'll turn the time over to Mr. Hyatt.
President Mortensen, members of the board, we have a special presentation today. And invite Mr. Solon up, but before I do that, please come up, Mr. Solon. We had put Miss Nez had put down a document that shows all the games this week, or at least the first games for the state tournament. We've had several, we had to get 7 or 8 teams in the tournament this year. 4 remain for the second round. And so we're super excited to recognize Gallup High School girls who are still running strong. They have a game tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the pit, and when they win, they'll play at 8 a.m. on Thursday. Crown Point plays Navajo Prep at 4:45 tomorrow. When they win, they'll play at 8:15 on Thursday. And Tehachapi girls, they play Robertson and at 8:15 p.m. tomorrow. And when they win, they'll play at 8:15 on Thursday. On the boys' side, we have 1 team remaining, the Tehachapi High School boys basketball team. They play at 8:15 on Wednesday, 8:15 p.m. on Wednesday. And when they win, they'll play on Friday, the 14th, 1:15 in the pit. That sound right? 13, 14, get my dates right there. I'm trying to count them in my head. And so I know that some of you, the board members, will have a chance to go down there and see them. I'll be down there tomorrow also, but appreciate the community and their support for our teams across the county. We've had some incredible teams this year, some that unfortunately didn't make it through the first round that were also tremendous teams, but they've done a great job this year, so we appreciate it. So at this time, Mr. Solon, or maybe it's Assistant Superintendent Kedan Montagna will start. Thank you.
President Mortensen, members of the board, first I want to say that we are proud of our strong relationship and collaboration between McKinley County Sheriff's Department and our school district to address the growing concerns surrounding drug use in our schools. This collaboration will bring essential resources and support to ensure safety and well-being for our students. We started speaking with McKinley County Sheriff's Department several months ago about introducing drug dog visits more frequently into our schools. These visits will serve as a proactive measure to deter drug-related activities and create safer learning environments for our students. The presence of trained K-9 units from McKinley County Sheriff Department will help ensure that our schools remain drug-free. Along with that, we're also introducing, or I should say bring back, the DARE program to our elementary schools. And we have 5 schools that DARE will be implemented into this year, and in the fall, all of our elementary schools. The DARE program has a long history of educating young people about the dangers of drug use, making responsible choices, and fostering positive relationships with drug enforcement. I'd like to let Mr. Solon introduce the officers that we have today.
Thank you. Good afternoon, President Mortensen, Board, Mr. Hyatt. Proud to introduce Lieutenant Tammy Hatali. Come on up, Tammy. I've known Lieutenant for probably 20 years, and we're blessed to have her. She oversees all of the DWI-related programs for McKinley County Sheriff's Department, and now she oversees the K-9 program. And I'd also like to introduce and allow Deputy Melanie Padilla to come forward and introduce her best friend that she has with her.
Be here. My name is Melanie Padilla, and I have been in law enforcement for 22 years. I came from Gallup Police Department, and I've been with the Sheriff's Department now for 3 months. And as part of that agreement, coming back was to become a school resource officer. So I am full-time in the schools, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and in that process, I got Zella. So she's my new partner, K-9. She's 3 years old, German Shepherd, and we are in the process of learning to be with each other. I've never had a K-9 in my career, and out of everything I've done in my law enforcement career, this has been the hardest thing that I've ever done. But it's also joyful. It's needed. It really is needed for our community. Just a little bit that I've been in the school so far, going out into our community, to the county, they've been very thankful and grateful for us to be there. They haven't had law enforcement in a long time, so just to be there and to see them and to talk to them, they're very grateful, and it's been awesome. So far, I have no complaints, everybody's excited and happy. And I'm just excited to see what happens from here and going forward. Like I said, we're still training, so that's why she has her ball, otherwise she'll go crazy in here. We haven't had our training session yet because I have my DARE classes this week.
It's the tacos in the back.
So I am teaching DARE as well. I started Toe Turpin and I had classes this morning, and we came straight from there. I have Mariana Lake and Theroux starting next week's the week after. So I'll have those 3 schools, and then the rest are going to be starting in the fall. But like Lieutenant Hotelli and Sergeant Jeremy Shirley will be going to class as well. So we'll have 3 officers, which would be great to help us, 3 peer officers to help in schools. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can pet her if you want this all around. That's all right.
Want to get a picture? Get a picture. We want to thank the County Sheriff's Department. They have been incredible to work with, and we had a discussion, it wasn't too many months ago, we had a discussion about some opportunities with DARE and a drug dog and some other items, and they quickly responded. We were willing to help with financial needs of that. We do a little bit, but they were able to take it upon themselves with the grant, and so it's been super helpful, and so we're really excited for this opportunity. Again, this is not a way to try to catch students, it's a way to prevent drugs from entering our schools. And so we really appreciate their efforts. It's been a great partnership. With that.
Go ahead down there.
Mr. Martinson, thank you, Mr. Hyatt. I have a question just to, for the record and for maybe parents or students listening out there. And can you please remind us what the consequences are if the drug dogs do find any drugs on a student or in our schools?
Sure, Ms. Benali, the consequences can be different depending on the situation. Every situation is unique. So there could be somebody that's under the influence, which could result in a likely suspension in a hearing. It depends on the situation. If you're selling drugs, for sure a hearing and possible expulsion. At least a suspension happens. It just depends on the circumstances. If you're caught with drugs, depends on the amount of drugs. Is it residue in a pipe or something versus a couple ounces of marijuana bag? I mean, there's a lot of different variables that can take place, but definitely more than one situation could easily result in a hearing and possible expulsion. Some of those situations could be almost or more likely expulsion, depending if it's a distribution, especially if it's an adult distributing to a minor.
Any other questions?
I was just wondering, what are the 5 schools that are in the DARE program now?
Member Mitchell, you caught me. I'm not sure if I know all 5 of them. I know Del Norte, I believe Twin Lakes, I believe through, and then 2 in town as well. And I want to say Turpin and Jefferson, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
We can get that
I can
information.
get that information to you by
Thank you.
the meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope to see Zella the dog around a lot more often. She's dang cool.
Oh, I have one question.
Yeah.
I know that we look and or we go through the students' locker or wherever the students are. Do we also do the offices of administration or teachers or in the vicinity of them?
Whenever you use a drug dog in a school setting, you do not let them sniff or to scent individuals.